Yo bro, it's 5:30 a.m. and just woke up. Like, you know, I don't really get alarm, but after waking up I just can't fall back asleep. Now I get this idea of the title is a little bit clickbait. It should be actually that you're not supposed to cure depression and anxiety. Now, why is that? First, let me tell you my story back then when I'm about to reach 16. And back then, I'm getting all this like anxious about my studies. I'm getting anxious about my future, and I'm somewhat, yeah, like slight depression. Or I don't like diagnose myself because it's not really a good thing. But let's say I'm getting this like symptoms, and after like reading things about it, it doesn't really help. Like, when you get all this like positive thinking and all that stuff, you're basically just addressing the symptoms. Back then, I just a lot of so back then I just got lots of time, and I have no like activity to fill that up. So I kind of feel that way. I feel so empty back then, especially the pandemic, because it was like the late pandemic. It's getting, I really have got nothing to do, and I was addicted in video games. At that time, I just kept on doing it, even though I'm doing the positive thinking, the activities that kind of alleviate it temporarily, but does not really work. Now, why is that again? It's because I'm just, addressing the symptoms, not the problem itself. Now, how did I really do it? See, back then, I mentioned that when I was 15, I got no time, I got nothing to do when I have lots of free time. That means I also don't have this like purpose inside me. I don't have this mission. It's empty. It's just void, just rotting in my bed. And one of the things also that helped me is through spirituality. And you could be spiritual without like religion. Like how? Now, why are we like getting all that anxiety and depression? I, I can't even say, and I don't even agree with the fact that you have to cure the depression and anxiety. Why? It's because they might actually be your friend. They might actually be the reminders, the the response of your body telling you to change something because there's something wrong that you're doing, that there's this emptiness in you. When, the caveman times, the hunter-gatherer era, do people there actually get depressed? I think not, because they're more connected to like nature, and that's spirituality too. They have like this physical activity, they have this mission to populate, to conquer, to dominate. And they're not thinking about like future works back then. They aren't thinking about the studies and all that stuff. Instead, the anxiety there is actually based more on social and survival. Why? See, anxiety is also there to like help you to survive. It's meant to like be reserved. And in this modern world, you're in this constant state of stress. Back then, like the anxiety you get is when you get through this social event, and you're kind of having this social anxiety because you might not get accepted from the like tribe, or the crisis. Let's say there's this, woods, like dark woods, there's this predator. Your anxiety is actually built in there. Your stress is built in there. It's how you get this fight or flight response. But those typically don't last that long, because if you survive, then okay, let's relax now. 'Cause what's the body is saying when you are in in this state of stress. But in this modern world, that does not exist that much anymore. Although you can when there's these people threaten you, but you're not in that constant state. You are stressing about this, the study is like I mentioned earlier, the thing that you're gonna do today, your future, and all this stuff. It's just so mentally taxing compared to like back then. It's like this constant state of stress is much more distractive than the stress of like the flight or fight response, which typically don't last that long. And when your body in this constant state of stress, it's telling you that yeah, there's wrong, and this anxiety is not the wrong. It's telling you that there is wrong that you are doing. What are you doing? Like both of them, like depression and anxiety, should be your friend, because they are telling you that there is wrong. There's something wrong, and you must address it like directly. Don't just attack the symptoms. It's so basic. This advice is so basic that fact that so basic that I think you should already know this. But what I'm saying is, my number one thing to like spit it out to you is basically live more like a human being, like a real human being back then, who's more like connected to nature, who's moving around more, who's not afraid to be childish. Like, I love running around, like even though I look kind of immature and like climbing some random trees when I have got time. This is just kind of heals this soul inside me. It's not the inner child, it's actually the innermost of you. Because you're human too, and you belong to nature. It's just this social construct, this social, like expectation to you to like act more mature and all this stuff. And yeah, I guess you should. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you should live more like a real human. It's just so basic, dude. I think you should. Yeah, they're just so basic, dude. Yeah, you're gonna hate me for like saying all this stuff. Like, it's kind of controversial, especially the title. It's kind of clickbait too. So, anyways, that's it, bros. And maybe you could like critique this video, and I want to get also your feedback. What are your thoughts? Because I'm not really expert in this field, but I just say what I want to say and what comes into my mind, because I'm getting all these ideas when I'm taking a shit. No, like seriously, when I'm like most relaxed state, when I'm not thinking, I'm getting these ideas. So comment your thoughts. Like, don't even care about like how well formed it is, because just a simple comment would help. Yeah, like any criticism is fine, destructive, constructive. I enjoy it.